Angry Guy here. Today we're discussing why women fear happy single men. Women fear happy single men, and they fear them for a variety of reasons. They fear happy single men because men are making it quite clear that they can survive without women. It was just something that was absolutely unthinkable quite some time ago. But now it's becoming very, very clear that men do not need to be in relationships. Men can survive on their own entirely without a woman. But let's jump
The
into it.
biggest, most powerful realization in MGTOW for a man is when he realizes that women fear single men a lot more than we do women. Most single men are simple. They're single because they're not high value enough. Or maybe no one wants them. Or maybe they haven't worked enough on themselves yet to earn the respect of women. Basically put, single men are scared of approaching women because they may come off as creepy and they will get rejected. What if I told you the game is so different? Modern women actually fear single men. Not one as in singular, but women fear single men. And the more single men keep popping up, the more they have reason to panic. Let me explain why. For this, we need to unpack basic women's biology and mental reasoning, because that will explain a lot about why women are the way they are. I have already talked about hypergamy on this channel, and how women are always looking out to bag the best man. You already know that, so that isn't big news. Let me talk about how women value their self respect and perception. Once you understand that, a lot of things will pop in and start to make sense. Women are the symbol of beauty and attraction. This is pretty much accepted everywhere. Women represent beauty in humans, and it's their biggest selling point. That's why women are used as the symbol for lust and love. That's because the greatest arsenal of a woman are her looks. That's what made her a desirable woman in the past. That's why the beauty industry exists. That's why jewelry is hundreds and thousands of years old.
But you know what's interesting about this? There was an era. Was it the Victorian? There were actually multiple eras. There was the Victorian era where men were prettier than the women. These guys used to wear heels, wigs, makeup, and they used to flaunt that shit. And then if we go back to even Greece, or you go back to go back to Rome, you go back to Italy, Mike, think about Michelangelo. He wasn't painting pictures of women; he was painting pictures of men and the male figure. This is something that women absolutely hated. Okay, throughout history, the personification of beauty was not woman; it was actually man. And it was over time that this began to gradually change, and a greater focus was placed upon women. But realistically, the personification of beauty has always been men, and then men admiring how amazing, how men have been able to sculpt their bodies and get stronger. And to be very honest, the female body throughout history has been seen as almost boring. It's because it's only in modern times where there's so much focus on women because of perceived scarcity, why women have become the ideal, a personification of beauty, especially with the makeup industry growing. But prior to that, women were not these beings worshipped for their beauty. If anything, they were beings that they were basically side pieces for men. That first off, most men never got married, and the ones that did, many of them, the vast majority of them were poor men, and women were grateful to have these poor men because these poor men would still keep a roof over their heads, food on their table, and clothing on their backs, and that was enough. But in this generation where women have everything plus the kitchen sink, now they believe that they deserve even more. All right, they deserve to, first, you know, being able to fly wherever they want to the world is no longer enough. They need to fly first class, you know, or they need to be able to pick up a $30,000 bag every month, because they're worth it. They need to be able to spend $15,000 a month on shoes and other shit that they don't need that depreciates immediately after they purchase it. These women, they're only chasing status and validation, but they're not purchasing anything of actual value. This is why when you look at what women own versus what men own, men actually own tangible things that retain some value, while women often have things that don't retain any value. But in the end, you have to understand that it's it's only going to continue to get worse until it gets better. And men are basically just looking at the situation from the sidelines, and they're saying, you know what, the juice is no longer worth the squeeze. It's not worth it for us. It's not, and we're not going to put up with it. We're going to go our own way. We're going to focus. We're going to walk away. We're going to do what's right for us, and that's it. And women are worried about this. They're afraid of this. They're afraid the fact that men are happily single. They don't need them. They don't need relationships. They don't need validation. They don't need sex. They don't need anything from women. And when women see this, they begin to panic. The Pather Bros have caused women to panic because a lot of these women are living off beta male orbiters, men that are orbiting around these women, men that are living off these women, men that are orbiting these women, and these women are living off these men. They're having these men pay their bills for them, take them out on dinners, help them with rent, protect them, giving them the boyfriend experience, without actually having to be be their girlfriends. It's absolutely ridiculous. But and they're seeing this with these password bros, realizing that they have options. They can go overseas because these password bros, they're basically the Plan B guys, but they're not sticking around. And these women are afraid that the more single men that accumulate in society, the more happy single men that accumulate in society, the more the message gets out that these men don't need women. All right, and the more men that go down this path, the more men that will either say, if I'm going to get married, I'm going to have children, I'm going to do it overseas, or if I stay in America, I'm not doing it at all, and I'm going to be a happy, healthy bachelor, and no one can stop me. And that is truly the direction that society is headed in right now. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying these videos, you need to subscribe. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much. If you're not, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button. Also, turn on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Also, check out this message from Patreon. You already know what it is, but my Patreon is pretty damn awesome. I have a bunch of additional videos on Patreon. It's actually patreon.com/angry guy. You can actually head over to my Patreon and you can find all this great bonus content on my Patreon that is not available on YouTube because YouTube does not allow certain content. And I'll just stop and I'll show it to you for a moment, and we'll jump back into the video. But where is it? There we go. So, for example, you already know what the deal is. We have videos like password grannies are using poor black men for sex overseas. Hero dad unalives a pedophile. People are still living in extreme fear over COVID. Leftover women are growing. And of course, my favorite, seven kids by seven baby mamas. Uh, Tyrone is a menace to society. All these videos and more, plus other bonus content, are available exclusive on Patreon. You can find my link to my Patreon description of video. It's patreon.com/angry guy. And I'm going to link it on the screen so you can basically see it there for yourself, just very quickly. But it is a link to the description of the video. Check it out. It helps to support the channel so I can continue putting out these videos for you. Getting back to what I was saying, getting back to the content, it's women are paranoid because they hate the fact that these men are walking away.
That's why makeup goes back as far as ancient Egypt. Women base their value off of their looks. They value themselves by how attractive and desirable they look. The more they can look like that, the better suitors they will attract. She will have a huge pool from which to pick her desired man. And she will most definitely pick the highest value among them. That means the biggest factor of a woman's worth in society is how big of a pool she can attract. The greater number of men who ask her out and do her favors, the more desirable she feels. If no one is asking her out and she is getting rejected, she will lose all self-worth. This is not speculative. This actually happens. If you think rejection hurts you as a male, just go and see how badly women take rejection. Women absolutely lose it when they're rejected. They just aren't.
The irony is that many women go through life today never being rejected even once, and the first time they're rejected, it actually piques their interest because now they're like, "What? This guy actually rejected me?" This is the world women live in, and a lot of that's due to social media, to Instagram, because these women have been allowed to, hang around high value men that they should never have ever, been around a day in their lives because they're not their equivalent. There's no reason why some chick that works at Starbucks should be hanging around an NBA player.
Used to it at all. Women break down when they are rejected or if they had a date planned and it got cancelled. If she's looking for the attention of men and no one is giving her that, Not even a group of beta orbiters, she will lose all self worth.
Not even a group of beta arbiters. And that's really where why these women are panicking. Because when they're watching the password bros and they're seeing what's happening with the beta orbiters, that these beta orbiters will pick up, take off, and if they don't have the beta orbiters, they lose everything. They lose access to free lunch. They lose access to their free meals, to their free rent, to the men who are giving them free validation. They lose access to free protection. They lose access to everything. And they lose access to their plan B guys, the guys that they were going to like say, you know what? Hey, I'll get together with you. You're the person that I loved all along. When they realize they have no other options, and now they're gonna. It's basically either they're going to starve. I mean, these are the Plan B guys. This is their. This is their. These guys are the guys that are going to protect them from homelessness. But now these guys are taking off, and these women are going to end up living in their cars if they even have a car, or otherwise they're going to be in the 10 cities that Trump's been proposing. Because trust me, they're not going to be putting these women up all in hotels. There's just not enough money for that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to link to the full video in the description of the video so you can watch the full video and you can decide, what do you think about the fact that modern women fear happy single men. Modern women, why modern women fear happy single men? Because they know that this is the beginning of the end and a new ice age is here. Kevin Samuels may have passed away, and women laughed when he died and they celebrated when he died, but ironically he's the one getting the final laugh. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. We'll talk more about it. As I said before, guys, if you're enjoying these videos and you want to help me, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you already haven't done that, turn on notifications to help to be notified whenever I put out a new video, and also like the video and help support me on Patreon, patreon.com/angryguy, if you want to help me to put out more videos on a regular basis, because I am working my butt off for you guys, and it seems like you guys are enjoying it. All right, so support me on Patreon, and we'll keep it chugging along. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video, and just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.